Hello, everyone. How are you? Fine, thank you.
Hello everyone. Now, before we start this video, I would like to tell you that since this video was rushed, it's probably not the best in terms of what me and my team can create and put out there, so this might be why the video seems half-baked. Well, part of the blame lies within my team, but also with teacher Jack over here for not informing us properly about the actual deadline of the assignment. And also compared to when I first discovered this topic, it is harder now to do research on this topic. Okay, so let's get on to the rest of the video. Now, we all aim for equality, right? But what happens when focusing on one group's right inadvertently shadows another's? Enter feminism, a powerful, forceful movement in the fight for gender equality. But here's the twist. In modern feminism, while addressing women's rights, they have unintentionally shifted unfairness towards men. And it's not just about women's issue, men face societal challenges too, impacting billions globally. Feminism initially emerged to uplift undervalued women, but today it's evolved into modern feminism, which unfortunately seems to prioritize women's rights at the expense of devaluing men, which isn't something it's supposed to do. And the real snag about this is that in the pursuit of women's rights, men's rights got inadvertently pushed down. It's like a seesaw where one side rides while the other dips. That's what we'll dive into today, hoping to offer a different perspective by the end, no matter what gender you are. Okay, so let's start by understanding feminism's roots and intention. Originally aimed at balancing social scales for women, but today it's morphed into something that inadvertently sidelined men's rights. Now let's get on to the main point. The gender pay gap. Now, teacher Jack over here has brought up an interesting point about his life experience, saying that feminists' role in the workforce, that back in the day, one working spouse could comfortably support a family, usually with the mother at home caring for the kids while the father worked. Now, fast forward to today, it's a financial tightrope for one person in a non-high-paying job to support a family. Now, here's where feminism steps in, encouraging women to be independent and join the workforce, thus expanding it. Consequently, it's become more common to have two working parents struggling to be financially stable, especially in this Western world's economy. Now, about the gender pay gap, yes, in some countries, I won't deny that, women are paid less for the same job. But let's focus on the developed Western world, like let's say North America. Statistics shows that women are paid 77 cents per dollar a man makes. But hold up, there's more to it than that. These figures only consider the raw numbers and not factors that like job choices, education, positions, or hours worked. Think about it. A woman opting for a clothes designer role against a man who's gonna work as an engineer. Naturally, the engineer will earn more than the clothes designer. Education and position also heavily sways salary, not just gender. The Department of Labor findings suggest that 20% of the wage gap might stem from individual choice rather than pure gender bias. Now, let's break it down further. Take college majors, for example. Top earners like petroleum engineering are dominated by men, while the lower earners like counseling and psychology attract more women. Even within the same profession, men and women choose different paths affecting their income. A good example, male nurses tend to select higher paying specialties, put in longer hours, and prefer location with better pay, leading to an 8% earning gap compared to the female nurses. So you see, it's not just about gender, it's also about the choice we make in our career that impact our earnings. Alright, now let's tackle the court system, especially the family court scenario in the Western world, especially in North America. Interestingly, in Cambodia, there's a bias against men's and family court during custody battle. Here, if a child is 18 or older, despite their preferences and choices, the court will force them to live with the mother, showcasing a significant gender bias. Now, teacher Jack already touched on this, but in the US, there's an apparent agenda at play. The court often lacks neutrality, with some leaning towards favoring modern feminism. This bias sometimes leads to judges to perceive women as the weaker sex, clouding their judgment and granting women lighter sentences, or sometimes no sentence at all compared to men in similar situations. In these courtrooms, despite the evolving family dynamics, there's a persistent perception favoring mothers as the better caregiver. Due to the traditional societal expectation, judges tasked with deciding that in the child's best interest might unconsciously favor mother, overlooking a father's equal capabilities in raising the child. This leads to emotional and psychological impacts, discouraging fathers from pursuing custody or involvement in their child's life, due to the belief that courts inherently favors mother. This perpetuates a cycle where father may not fully engage in the child's upbringing. This sympathetic tilt towards women in courts often translates into a lighter sentence and punishment compared to men. A notable example is the case involving Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Despite proven false accusation, Amber faced minimal consequences compared to what an innocent man like Johnny Depp would have faced had the allegations become true. And this disparity extends beyond the quorum. Evidence in workplace environment, as seen with Amber Heard's continued employment in Warner Brothers, despite the controversy compared to an African-American actor, Jonathan Mayers, who was immediately fired from his job after being found guilty of misdemeanor and assault. It is a complex scenario where bias and unfair treatments are prevalent, impacting both the legal system and the workplace. So, in conclusion, despite what many have disregarded, inequality against men are as real as inequality against women. It's not a black and white situation where only women have inequality. It's a gray area. Both sides are treated unfairly in certain aspects and more prominently in some areas of the world, like the pay gap, for example, in which the difference is caused by other factors other than gender, and the court system is more favorable towards women because of the sympathy of the people in power and the agenda the US system has. Thank you, goodbye.
Oh, what? Aw. That was so fast.